In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a home security transformer or power plug. These go into a power outlet. Anytime you see a home security keypad in the home, somewhere there's going to be a plug that's wired to the alarm keypad so the alarm keypad can get a power source. So as you can see, looking here, we have two screws, one on each side, some metal below it, and we have some wires wrapped around there. So we're going to take the old plug, loosen these wires a little bit, or loosen these screws a little bit. We're going to pull the wires out, and you're going to see there's some copper here at the ends. What we're going to want to do is, first of all, before we pull these out, these need to match what's plugged into the keypad. So kind of hard to see here, but you have a plus there and a negative there, positive and negative, and that needs to match what's at the keypad. If you're replacing a plug, these will have already been matching. So before you pull these out, remember which one was which. So we're going to remember that the positive side is a striped wire here, and the other wire that doesn't have these stripes is the negative. So we're going to take these out. We're going to get our new plug. We're going to loosen these screws a little bit. And really what you want to do is you need this metal, this copper, to wrap around this screw here, so that when you screw it shut, the screw head is going to be pressing the copper wire down against the metal back plate in there. Okay, so you're going to want to wrap this underneath the screw like so. And sometimes this could be the tricky part. You can make this a smaller hole. You're going to wrap that around and make sure that it's underneath that screw, and it's not around, it's not above it, to the side of it. You want to make sure when you tighten the screw that you're going to trap as much of that copper wire underneath there as you can, nice and tight. You're going to want it so it's not going to break loose or come loose. And you can see that copper wire is being held down from that screw. So it's between the screw and the metal there. Now if you're having a hard time wrapping it around and getting it up into there and wrapped around and get it to stay still, what you could do is you could just take the screw out. And I do this quite a bit, especially if this copper is a little bit firmer. You could take the screw out completely and just take this screw and just wrap the copper around it nice and tight. And then you can put it in the hole and screw it down nice and tight. Once again, you're going to want this tight enough to where it's not going to come loose if something touches it or just over time, but also enough to where that copper wire, once again, is between the screw and the metal there. Now, sometimes when you're taking the wire out, you don't have to necessarily wrap the wire around anything. It's going to come with these here, and you'll be able to just slide these in between the screwdriver or the screw and the metal and tighten it. Let's do that one. So once again, these just slide right in there because the copper wire is connected to these little U-shaped prongs. so it's easier. But if you have to wrap the copper wire around there, it's okay, just a little bit harder. And then you're gonna wanna go ahead and plug it in. Now, if the copper wire is like really frayed or weak or breaks or not very long, you just get some wire strippers and cut here and strip the wire back a little bit so you have more copper showing. Sometimes if these are really, really small, it's harder to wrap around these screws. But yeah, once again, in summary, make sure you remember which wire is positive and negative so it matches what you had before. Pull them out, go in between the screw and the back metal there. Make sure there's a good firm connection so that the copper wire is touching everything below. Tighten them each side, and then go ahead and plug the plug in, and you're done.